I was going to ask you, Andy, to compare the first half that you saw at the Emirates from Chelsea's point of view with the first half here, and it looked as though it was going to be identical on the scoreline at 1-0, and then they fell apart in the second half.
I think Chelsea have been better here. They had a 15-20 minute spell against Arsenal where they improved and they got themselves back up to speed. But they've created some really good chances here. I mean, Nicholas Jackson very unlucky with the one that was offside, but then he has to score that one that was dropped on a plate right on his head.
And breaks the way of Digne. Idea Shield's header's not a great one. Macedo helping out. Digne steps in. Bailey is there. Douglas Luiz. The out ball is Jackson for Cucurella. We've got 6 added minutes. Jackson thought he might be away. I'm not sure he had total belief, a bit like on the offside decision when a goal was ruled out, that he would be pulled back for a foul. But Villa have got 2. He's had 1 disallowed, and as you say, should have scored.
Yeah, it could have been very different. But look, that's what often happens when, as I mentioned, that they just don't have. I mean, Villa, when you look at them when they go out of possession, you know, they've got that real solid structure and they kind of all in tune. They all know what they're doing. Everyone's on at each other to make sure they're all doing their jobs. I just don't see that with Chelsea when they go out of possession. When they don't have the ball, people let players run off them. They can sometimes, as again, take the wrong option defensively. One squeezes, one drops off, never quite together.
Rodgers. Chalobah will get that. Yeah, more changes at the back, forced upon Pochettino tonight. Disasi on the bench, who has played a lot of the games.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Martin, I've not been convinced at all about Disasi and Badiashile. And I appreciate Thiago Silva is at an age now where you've got to start looking beyond that. I still think it's him plus 1 is their best option.
Digne with a throw. Macedo got above Rodgers. Chalobah's a tall young man, did his job defensively, aerially.
Of course, where they've got to be careful now, Martin, is that they don't go under again. Because if Villa get a third, and we're not expecting them to get one before half-time, but should they get one at the start of the second half, then Chelsea are going to be in trouble again, and it's another test of their mettle and their nerve and how they handle it.
Gallagher. Mudryk.
Mettle and their nerve and how they handle it.
They've certainly made more of the opportunities that came their way compared to the opposition. Sometimes when you're playing at whatever level of football, if you concede a worldie early on, you just have to hold your hand up and say well played to the opposition. But the scrappy nature of that opening goal,
poor goal, wasn't it? I think preventable. I do. I think if everyone just makes sure they're doing their job early on in a game away from home to a team that are really going well, they're the rules. They didn't stick to them, I'm afraid.
Mudryk has only scored goals in West London. He scored 6 for Chelsea, 5 at Stamford Bridge and 1 at Fulham. So be far his most northerly output if he gets one here. Here's Madueke, and I don't know. I was going to say looked a foul, but it obviously didn't look to the man who mattered, Craig Pawson.
He seemed to skip past Luca Digne quite nicely there, Madueke, but obviously felt something hit the floor, didn't get it.
The referees are being instructed to be hard on goalkeepers for taking time over restarts with goal kicks, or free kicks in their own box. But the argument against that is that they're setting themselves up, as Martinez was, to do that, to play out from the back, but it didn't get them very far. Bailey, nicely done. Diaby only had one ball on, and that was it. There's nothing raiding down the left side.
Not right idea.
Bridge back in September. Ollie Watkins with the goal and a 2-0 advantage here. Could be happening. But, be taken for granted, because Chelsea have certainly shown some spirit, some skill, without that clinical touch where it really matters in this first half. Chalobah, Palmer. Madueke still going more traffic, and this is again where Chelsea look vulnerable and Villa have an opportunity in these final few seconds of the first half, and Watkins can't get there. It's good defending by Badiashile. He read it well, got his body across, and there was nowhere Watkins, who's quick, could run round him.
Yeah, good break that from Mr. Diaby. Perhaps just the wrong option in that straight ball.
Something similar from Mudryk, but again, not quite the right pass at the end of it. Douglas Luiz. Well, it's been a strange half. Aston Villa not at their very best, but they lead 2-0. Cucurella very early with an own goal. That's deflecting on. He had no chance not to do it. Then Morgan Rogers, new to this parish really, but certainly showing why Aston Villa chased him and got him. And Unai Emery with plenty of words to say. I don't think his team played particularly well. Chelsea have played reasonably well, but they haven't got themselves on the scoreline as yet. They may do in the second half. We reach the break. Villa 2, Chelsea 0.
Villa in control against the Blues on their home patch, 2-0 at half-time. We're going to hear the thoughts of Sean Wright-Phillips and Darren Bent when we come back. Here are the goals that separates the two. It was an own goal from the Blues that got the scoring underway. That was in the first 4 minutes of the half. In the closing stages of the half, then, it was Morgan Rogers who made it 2-0. Analysis after this.
This is Stamford Bridge. A happy new year to you all. Chelsea, who have dropped out of the Champions League places at the moment because of yesterday's results against Aston Villa, who are only 1 point outside the relegation zone. So both clubs needing to show new resolution in the new year. Here's Lampard, who of course has missed so much of this season. Down goes Malouda, and penalty is given. Brad Friedel's not happy. Here goes Lampard, and he fires it past Friedel. Lampard from the spot, and Chelsea have their breakthrough. Villa not happy about the way it has occurred. Malcolm did well. Had Clark's intentions, and Pereira dwelt. On down goes Rio Coca. That's got to be another penalty. And Lee Mason has evened the count despite John Terry's protest. Scored a penalty in November against Manchester United. He steps up now against Chelsea and blasts it in, and it's 1-1 in what's so far been a shootout from the spot between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Downing. Eski going in. It's ended up in the back of the net, and Aston Villa incredibly have turned this game on its head. 1-0 down, they now lead by 2 goals to 1. Oh, Drogba, in goes Kalou. Here's Drogba, it's his chance, it's his goal. He's been on the outside looking in for much of the match, but he's forced the ball through to bring Chelsea level with 7 minutes plus stoppage time left. Brighton has not adjusted at all to the pace of it. That's understandable. Great save by Friedel. Comes out again and it's put in. John Terry in the 89th minute. 2-1 down has become 3-2 up. And then there comes out for Mark Brighton. And it's Kieran Clark. It's a goal. It's a goal for Aston Villa. It is 3-3. And how emotions can change. They were 2-1 up for long periods in the second half. And John Terry thought he'd won it for the team that he captains. But Kieran Clark glided in a Mark Brighton cross. A point gain for Villa, 2 points lost, you have to say, for Chelsea. But what a watch. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 3.
Carvalho, Boatser have dived in. Jeremy drives it into Shevchenko, and Drogba steers it in. Here's Drogba. Shevchenko. Drogba. 2-0. They played their way through beautifully, and the score of the first gets the second as well.
Numbers from the first half. Aston Villa have the number that matters, and that's 2. They lead 2-0. But Chelsea have controlled possession. They've had the most shots, and they've also had the most completed passes.
Yeah, in a kind of weird type of way. I mean, you look at the scoreline 2-0, you think Villa were comfortable, but it wasn't the case. Chelsea controlled possession, had opportunities. They should have at least taken one. Nicholas Jackson scores the goal, which is offside. Really good finish, composed, has the header. But unfortunately, that's been Chelsea's story this season. They create opportunities, they don't take it, they get punished at the other end.
Yeah, and punished they were very early on, just 4 minutes on the clock, and then Villa had the opening goal.
Well, yeah, for me, it was a great play from Villa all round. I think they recycled and kept possession, but this run here, and the ball was perfect. And just the cutback was nice enough, and begins in the right place, he drifts into the right place. But obviously, when me and Benny were looking at it, Benny will break this down, what he thought in respect of like the pressing and stuff.
No pressure on the ball, and also the communication between Trevor Chalobah and Madueke is non-existent. But John McGinn there, someone has got to get close to him. Markham Caicedo's on the edge of the box, someone's got to get close to McGinn. I know it's fortunate the way it goes in, but from a Chelsea perspective, defensively, no communication, no pressure on the ball, no one taking the onus on that particular play from Aston Villa, and these things happen, you get punished. Really poor goal defensively from Chelsea.
The moment where we paused it and everyone looks around, I feel like that's the first time they saw him.
Yeah. It's one of them where, sure, I mean, he's on Cucurella at first, and to be fair, Cucurella's got 2v1 at that back post. He's watching where Watkins is. But the fact that McGinn just ghosts in there, no one says anything, and he's got like 10 yards of space in the middle of the penalty area, that shouldn't happen.
It definitely shouldn't happen, and I think Chelsea players will be kicking themselves for that, but you can't do this at this level, and a team that's like Aston Villa, playing away Aston Villa, will punish you. Whether you get a little bit of luck or it goes in cleanly, they will cause you a lot of problems. And we go on about the Chelsea possession. They're not doing too much with it. It almost looks like Villa are saying, look, you can have the ball. When we get the ball back, this is kind of what we're going to do. And it's strange. I think they need to cause Villa a lot more problems when they're with the ball. Madueke, I thought, needs to do a little bit more. Mudryk, the same. Like you're playing in that wing position, you need to cause opposition problems, and they ain't. They're just running into bodies, sort of thing.
So that was the early goal for Villa. Chelsea recovered. They had that possession, which we saw the numbers of. They put some passages of play together. But at the end of the half, Villa managed to get a second goal. And it's Morgan Rogers. You're going to take us through it.
Yeah, really intelligent play. I mean, again, Chelsea not really clearing their lines. A lot of ricochets. But when it falls to him, it's a really clever and intelligent finish, because a lot of people think you're going to use the defender and bend it into that far corner. And he just reverses it. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was probably the best at it in terms of using defenders' legs, shooting between the legs where the goalkeeper's a little bit unsighted. But I mean, it's a really intelligent finish right from here.
Yeah, it's a great finish. He knows exactly what he's doing, just gets enough room to move it back, and he knows the defender has to step, and from he sees that gap, he doesn't use his laces, he actually whips it back through there, and it's hard for the keeper sees it late, and plus it's curling away from him as well. You can see he's at full stretch here, but he's not. There's no chance of getting there, and that again they let Chelsea have the ball there, and they called them on the break, and that was their reward from it. And you can see Unai Emery how happy he is from that performance. I think Aston Villa played their tactics very, very well.
Yeah, and then he hit the Cole Palmer, which is actually his celebration, so it wasn't
We just call it the Morgan Rogers because that's his celebration. I know he's in the Championship, but that's his celebration. Cole Palmer stole it from him.
There you go. You set the record straight right here and right now.
That happens to a lot of people. Somebody stole my robot. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
We stick to the game at hand, please. Thank you very much. Chelsea had chances. They had the ball in the back of the net. It was offside. That was one of their best moves. These are some of the other chances they had.
And I think, like you said, they've had good possession, so they are going to create chances. I thought, for the most part, Villa have dealt with them very well. With this one, I had to ask Benny about it. For me, I feel like he has to do better with that. I think it's a free header. I don't think he does all the movements right that he needs to do to make the space for himself. But I can't understand why he's just not putting it in the back of the net, because he can almost header it straight.
Yeah, he's trying to be too precise with it. He tries to get too much on it when he just let it hit his head, and anywhere on that side of the goal he scores, and he tries to be too precise. And that's because a man is not in confidence. That's why he tries to get too much on it, try and be too precise, because he's been on a bit of a dry spell.
Well, as it stands, Aston Villa lead at home against Chelsea, looking to do a first Premier League double over the Blues, of course, and it's all going according to plan. Not for him. For him, it definitely is. Unai Emery with a 2-goal cushion at half-time. Poch has to regroup. What can the Blues do? We'll find out after this.
Mitrovic! The uncomfort continues for Steven Gerrard. And Aston Villa could be going down if they produce displays like this every week.
I'd like to formally welcome our new coach, Unai Emery.
First, good afternoon, everybody. I am happy to be here. We are in not good position in the table now. The next match is my only focus now.
A welcome to a wet West Midlands where Aston Villa are hoping to end their long wait for a home win against Manchester United.
Really was amazing because the first match we played against Manchester United was a very big challenge.
Well, from Villarreal to Aston Villa, Unai Emery returns to England. The former Arsenal manager is back in Britain to have another pop at the Premier League.
We started with full energy and of course trying to being comfortable with some change, tactically trying to be organized, and of course the supporters, they help us, support us at home like we wanted.
Watkins, who does manage to get the pass away. The cash is free to the right, but instead it goes to Bailey. Scores! The Unai Emery era is off the mark. Just at the start for Aston Villa.
For the first match, trying to understand quickly the idea being organized in the tactical direction I want to do, they did it really, really amazing.
It's Lucadino! This start is getting better and better for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Manchester United running out of time in this first half. Shaw deflected in! A stroke of luck for Manchester United, but they'll take that just before half-time as well.
Try to keep going and try to manage some circumstances we had the first half, improving and trying as well to get better the second half, but of course trying to be connecting with our supporters.
Watkins, good pass, Ramsey! 2-goal lead established for Aston Villa. They are flying this afternoon.
Was the first step after we were in trouble, and after the match I think everybody was thinking, okay, with this victory we can be optimistic.
An overdue upset. 27 years in not being able to beat Manchester United. A big win for Villa and Unai Emery.
Always I was remembering the match we played here, the first match was great.
Paul is the king of Stamford Bridge. Drogba, what a player.
Drogba, he could get even better! Oh, sensational! It's Drogba!
Here's Didier Drogba.
Oh, what a strike! Drogba provided with one of the shots of the season.
What can Chelsea do to come back from this 2-goal deficit?
Take more shots at goal. I think they have to try and create. I think there's a lot of onus on Cole Palmer to try and make things happen. And at the minute, he's had one chance where he gets in the game. Other than that, they haven't been able to get him in the game as they have done in previous games. So I think someone has to stand up and be like, we can take some of that weight off your shoulders sort of thing and help him out. And test Martinez more, because like we said at half time, Jackson gets in, he scores a goal. Although it's offside, you can see there's somewhere there and positions you can get yourself into through the high line that Villa play. And I don't think that for the speed that they have, it shouldn't only be Jackson running in behind that high line. Mudryk is known for his speed, and so is Madueke, so they should use it.
Yeah, Nicholas Jackson was offside in that moment. Only Darwin Nunez has more offsides than him this season so far. From your point of view, Aston Villa, it's all going according to plan. Second half for them?
Yeah, it's doing much of the same, and I'm sure they'll win this game for sure.
They are in the hot seat at the moment, leading 2-0. Aston Villa, it's looking comfortable. Back to the commentary team of Andy Townsend and Martin Tyler.
Well, Robin Olsen has been going through a thorough warm-up in this first half. At the end of the first half, rather. I think they knew Emi Martinez was struggling when he went in, and Olsen will have to go across now to be formally introduced as a substitute. He's 34, he's played 73 times for Sweden, and it's his 8th Premier League appearance for Aston Villa. He played 7 for Everton. He had a spell there not too long ago. And he will be in goal, barring any accidents to him, of course, in the game here on Thursday in the Europa Conference League, because Emi Martinez, the man he's replacing, is suspended for that one.
Yeah, not easy sometimes for these number 2 goalkeepers behind such a dominant goalkeeper as Emi Martinez is. So Robin Olsen would be delighted to get some minutes under his belt looking ahead to what's going to happen on Thursday.
They've already lost Yuri Tielemans.
Correct.
So I'm hearing that it is a tweak of the hamstring for Martinez. Played in Italy, played in England also for Sheffield United as well. Not going to be fazed by this requirement of him. Chelsea are hoping they can work him a bit more than they worked the first half goalkeeper.
Just looking at the way Chelsea have set up for the second half. So Marco Correa has adopted a position in the middle of the park.
It's Madueke. Runs it out off the Chelsea wide man.
They might be doing that. They might, when he loses possession, as we see Unai Emery coming back to the technical area, Correa will drop into that left full-back position, but when they have the ball, he might well go and occupy a central position in the middle of the park to allow Conor Gallagher to get up there alongside Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson.
The 2 goals, the Correa own goal and the fine effort by Morgan Rogers, has taken Aston Villa to the highest number of goals they've scored in a Premier League season, 73. Looking to be probably their best Premier League season, certainly in terms of a 38-game season. They did finish runners-up in the very first Premier League campaign under Ron Atkinson to Manchester United. Here's Jackson. He might get there before Digne. Comes back to Madueke. Bright start from the team in blue, and Cucurella in for that midfield role, or certainly getting forward at every opportunity more centrally.
Yeah.
But he skied it with his weaker foot.
Yeah. How he needs one of those to go in for his team. But again, the message has been a positive one, and you can see that Chelsea, the way they're even setting up here, look, immediately going to go and press the ball, not dropping off, not dropping away. If Robin Olsen wants to play this short, then Palmer and Jackson are there to really go and apply pressure, which is why he goes along. Don't blame him.
Watkins beats Thiago Silva. Madueke, clever touch made possible by some sharp movement from Palmer. It does feel Chelsea is still in this. First comes Cash. Despite their inconsistencies, Madueke's won it back from Rodgers. Still Madueke runs out of room. Still, I thought there was a foul.
Yeah, I thought there was a little bit of a pull there on Morgan Rodgers. I don't think it was given. Only Madueke, watch. Just there, just sort of yanks his arm, pulls him back.
Yes, I think if that had led to a goal, it would have been a serious involvement from VAR. But didn't, so on we go. Bailey giving chase. Cucurella now back, defending in that left back role. Chalobah's been at right back tonight. Madueke and Caicedo was blocked off by Douglas Luiz, and that's slightly getting out of hand here, and Craig Pawson shows a yellow card to Douglas Luiz, who's only just back from a suspension, remember, 2-game ban. Being checked again by VAR. Caicedo was tangling with Douglas Luiz. Bit of a South American set too. A bit of posturing.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. Yellow card for both players.
Caution for both the combatants. You do feel, Andy, that Chelsea need to get the next goal.
Oh, sure.
If they're going to get anything from this contest.
No, without doubt. They've got to make sure that they're a lot more solid defensive. You can see that shape now, look, in possession, the three at the back there. Cucurella occupying a central midfield position, which allows Gallagher to go and spend 10 yards further forward, which is all well and good, that's fine. If Villa turn the ball over quickly, then they might find a little more room to maybe break out into.
Here's Thiago Silva. Palmer.
Just the odd little flashes from Cole Palmer this evening so far. Not been able to get himself in that position to really make something happen.
No, he's been back in training for the last couple of days. When players are ill, this game's because of that. You always wonder if there is going to be some carryover into the next appearance, but as always, he's not been shy and showing for the ball. This hasn't quite got into a position where he could really continue this remarkable productivity that he's shown. Here's Chalobah. It's maybe a chance for Chelsea to show the old cliche that 2-0 is a dangerous lead and they can get in at Aston Villa. I'm sure won't be sitting, particularly the way the first half went, they won't be sitting back thinking, well, this is a done job.
No, that'd be too dangerous. And I think the way they played tonight, Martin, I think they know they need to produce a little bit more. They've got plenty of gears to find. They're nowhere near at their best level, Villa, tonight.
No, the loss of Tielemans is just in a sense, they brought in an extra attacking player, and Morgan Rogers trying to do more in midfield, but Bailey, Diaby, as well as Watkins, won't want to be in these situations. I'm sure won't be sitting, particularly the way the first half went, they won't be sitting back thinking, well, this is a done job.